Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home of Tottenham. Get that out right. Tottenham past, present, and a really exciting future as we build up to the big North-West London derby on Monday when Tottenham Hotspur play Chelsea and Judas returns to White Hart Lane. Yes, I am calling him Judas. He is a Judas. He always will be a Judas. And I will not call him by his name. He is Judas, and that's the end of it. The serial loser that took us to the well many times, but never drunk from it because he wasn't good enough. But anyway, how are we all this afternoon? Hope we are doing well. As you can see, I'm on my own. Philip has let me loose in the asylum. He's somewhere doing his Tom Jones afternoon meet and greet with people around Ireland, and he's let me loose. So who knows where this stream's going to go. Every which way but loose. That was a good film, actually, back in the day. But anyway, good afternoon. See who's in the chat. We've got Daniela Zito. Good afternoon, Philip and Dermot. Good afternoon, Daniela. For me, I'm sure Philip will be saying good after you. Good afternoon to you as well from where he is. I think I don't know where he's going. He did tell me. Donegal sort of springs to mind. He's back tonight anyway. I think he's dropping Mrs. Brady off there. She's a very big bridge player in Ireland, so he's some competition, but he's also meeting the other 80s up there as he is Tom Jones. So there you go. Now, not really a lot of news around today. Well, a lot of news building up to the game. We are going to come up with that later. Me and Philip will be doing a pre-record to our predicted lineup. So watch that out coming out tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Me and Philip will pick our starting 11 for the match against Chelsea on Monday. And look, I think it needs to have a discussion. Would you start Bentancur ahead of Papa Sarr or Basuma? Now, I would put Bentancur instead of Papa Sarr and give him a rest. I think that's the way I would go. But let me know in the chat. What do you say? What do you think? Would you start Bentancur? We've got Matthew. Big up Matthew. Says good afternoon, man. Good afternoon, Matthew, man. Hope you're doing well. We've got Swim Master. I haven't seen you for a while, sir. Welcome back. He says hello, Dermot, and all in the chat, and those to follow in exactly. Matthew says, Dermot, England is in 10th place, last position in the Cricket World Cup. Let's all laugh. Haha. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not really a big cricket fan. Ireland do have a cricket team, mind you. We didn't qualify for the World Cup, but we do have a cricket team. Are we better than England? Yeah, of course we are. Of course we are. Ireland's always better than England. Going to get a lot of stick for that. Mr. Carl Simpson sitting in his house somewhere in England with his white cat, stroking it, plotting the downfall of Chelsea and plotting the downfall of the Premier League. Carl Simpson is like Blofeld out of the Bond films. He's the head of Spectre. Spectre is an organisation that is got together for the downfall of the Premier League teams for Spurs to win the league. So Carl is the head of that. So he's sitting there stroking his cat, thinking, what can I do this weekend to put Chelsea off their guard for Monday? And Carl, would you are you going to give Judas a round of applause when he comes back onto the pitch on Monday? If I was there, I wouldn't. I'd boo him. And that's me being personal. I would boo him. Carl Simpson says, I would keep Bentancur coming off the bench for the time being, take it nice and slowly. Yeah, well, he has got an international game coming up as well, actually. Look, I know what you're saying. Keep Bentancur coming off the bench for the time being. I get that. But I would start him on Monday. I don't know why, but I'd start him ahead of Sarr. I don't know why. Maybe you're right, Carl. Maybe we should do that. But for me personally, I think get him and Basuma playing together. They're going to need to start playing together and give Papa Sarr just that rest. I think he does need it. But big up, Carl. We've got FJT. No cricket talk, please. No, nothing about cricket anyway, FJT. So you're safe with me. Carl says the majority of the Irish cricket team are not Irish. That's very true. Yeah, that is very, very, very true. Matthew says, yes, I would also stop Bentancur and give rest to Sarr. Oh, there you go. Somebody agreeing with me. Philip Brady would be flabbergasted if somebody agreed with me of something. Anyway, we've got Chris Welsh. Big up, Chris. Big up, Dermo. He says, what's the email address to contact you on about the F1, mate? Keep forgetting to email you. Right. I tell you what to do, Chris. If you want, I'm doing the qualifying today. If you want to come into the stream, I'll send the link to Colin, or get my number off Colin or Bobby, and then email me that way. And what I'll do is I'll send the link to Colin or Bobby, and I'll get them to send it to you, Chris, if you can do that. But the email is on our YouTube channel. I just won't put it in here because I don't want everyone having my YouTube, my email address. But yeah, if you can do that, great. It's on the YouTube channel somewhere. We've got Mick Harmlick. Big up, Mick. He says, good afternoon, Dermot. Good afternoon. And he's always saying, big up to Carl. We've got Swim Master saying, Sarr all day long for now anyway. Especially now as Bentancur needs to be sub and he's backed in as he's not match fit. I will start with Sarr, bring Bentancur on for the last 20 minutes. You could do that as well, actually. But I just feel Bentancur will give you that something different in midfield. I think he's eager. I think he's like a caged tiger, ready to get out. We've got Danielle Sandoval. Big up, Daniel. Says, big up, one love. Big up, Daniela. We've got Carl, you're a fecker. You really are a fecker. It is Dermot. Right, okay. I don't know why I'm reading this out, but I got up to now. It's Dermot Sex God at Outlook.com. You're fecker, Carl. That is not my email address, Chris. It really isn't. Matthew's saying, if Son had a great season, could you see him winning the Ballon d'Or after the merging of UEFA and France football? I didn't even know they merged. I didn't. Could I see Son winning it? Yeah, probably could win it, but I think it's rigged anyway. I do. I think it's rigged. I mean, Haaland should have won it this year for last season. But yeah, and then he says, "Oh my God, I can't." Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, let's get on with some of the news, guys. Let's get on. Now, Juventus now want to sign 27 million. Oh, I've got breaking news. That's what I've got for you. Where is it now? Where did I put it? This is given to me today, actually. This is breaking news, actually. Tottenham have no interest in January or next summer of signing Galatasaray defender Victor Nelson in January, and Lloyd Kelly wants Milan mover over England stay. So Tottenham, what I've been told by my source this morning when I was talking to him, he says Tottenham have no interest in signing Victor Nelson. Absolutely no truth. So all these rumors you hear about Victor Nelson coming to Spurs are going to put a bid in. It is not true. It won't happen in January. Now, the summer could be a different kettle of fish altogether. But for what I'm hearing, Tottenham will not sign him in January at all. Also, Ivan Toney are in United's plans. So Ivan Toney's looking that he will be going to Manchester United. But Ange will bring in another striker in January. Now, who that striker is going to be, I don't know yet. I'm trying to find out. But who would you like it to be? Who would you want it to be to come in January? If Ange is going to buy another striker, I would love him to go buy the Celtic striker, Kyoto, from Celtic. I would love him to come down to him. I think he's a brilliant little player. He's quick. He's aggressive. He's really good. So I'd love him to be at Spurs. So that sort of is the latest breaking news I got on the transfers for January, which isn't too far away, guys. Isn't too far away. Now, Juventus want to sign Lo Celso. According to the Italian outlet Toto Juve, Lo Celso has apparently made it onto the list of the Turin club. Look, I think it's a good move all around, really. I don't think Lo Celso wants to be at Tottenham. I don't think Ange wants him. But I look, if we can get 27 million from him, I think that's a good bargain. I think it's a good shout. So, look, Højbjerg, Juventus have now gone off Højbjerg. are now turning their attention to Lo Celso. So maybe Højbjerg is staying. Maybe Højbjerg isn't going anywhere. Well, also tonight, of course, it is the match preview. Norwich City under 21s versus Tottenham Hotspur under 21s. That kicks off tonight, I think, at 7 o'clock. Spurs were 4-2 winners away to Sunderland in the last league fixture and sit 5 points clear of Arsenal in second place. So really are under 21s, under 18s, a women's side, a men's side are doing extremely well at the moment, all top of the league and all doing. And look, I think if we can get a result against Chelsea on Monday, look, Chelsea's not going to be easy. Let's not all kid ourselves. We don't have the greatest history against Chelsea. I think we've had 4 defeats and 2 draws out of the last 6 games, and a couple of them were in the League Cup as well. So look, we always find Chelsea are a bogey team, but I don't think we should fear them on Monday. And I think Chelsea are in a bit of disarray. I don't think the players are playing well together. I don't think the squad is united as our squad is. Our squad is very united and very all glued in together, all going in the one direction. Where Chelsea, I think, are very much a bunch of individual players trying to play together. That's what you get when you get a chairman that thinks football is like Monopoly. I mean, they've spent over $1 billion on players, bringing players in. And I don't care if you're either Pochettino or Zidane or one of the greatest managers in the world, you're not going to get that team playing well. Now, maybe in a couple of years, Chelsea will be championship material. Maybe they win the league in a few years' time, but it's going to take them that long for that team to gel. But on the other hand, if Chelsea had taken their chances in the games they've had, they'd be higher up the league than where they are because they just haven't took their chances. So look, we can't be foolish enough to go into that game on Monday thinking we've got 3 points in the bag, because it doesn't work like that. And I think Ange will remind the players that, look, it is an important London derby. It's our 3rd London derby of the season. We've drawn away at Arsenal. We've beat Palace away. If we can beat Chelsea at home, I think that would lay down a marker for everyone in the league that Tottenham are here and Tottenham are about to do something special this season. Now, I do think we're in the shout of winning the league, and people will call me delusional for that. And I agree, maybe it is a bit early. But after all the crap we've been through in the last 4 seasons, I think it's fair enough to allow us to dream, allow us to think big. I think I think we've got to be realistic. We're well within a Champions League fight. I think we're well within finishing within the top 4. If we can beat Chelsea Monday and get a result away in Man City and be round the top 2 by Christmas and by January, I think we're in a title fight. I think we've got every chance of winning the league. And we all know Man City pick up after Christmas. But I think this Man City side is beatable. I think the hunger's gone out of them. I think them winning the treble last season, the hunger's gone out of City. And I think they had to match what United did. I think when they won the treble, they went on to win the league the following season. And I think City have to do that. And I think that's the holy grail for Pep, winning the Champions League. And I think that is his priority, winning the Champions League. I just think this season City won't win the league. I think we could be up there. And I also think Liverpool could be up there. I think once they click, it could be a tight title race this season. I really do. And I think we will be in within the shout. So let me go through the chat who we got in. Where did we get up to? Oh, yeah. We've got Carl saying, Gugassi for me, quality striker. Oh, yeah, I would get him too, Carl. I really would. I think he's a brilliant striker. But I love Kyoto. I just love the way he plays at Celtic, and he's played with Ange. And if you get Jota in as well, I think you will have a fun tree that Jota and Kyoto have played together. And then you've got Johnson, you've got Sonny, you've got Kulu. I think you'll have a really fun 4 or 5 to really interchange and work well together. I think that'd be great. Matthew says, my dream signing would be Rafael Leao next season. Yeah, I think it'd be anyone's dream signing, but I can't see it happening. cannot see it happening. We've got Andrew Gregory, big up Dermot, big up Andrew. Hope you're doing well, sir. Matthew also saying Santiago gamers. Now, there's a striker I'd love, but I can't see it happening. I'd love it, but I can't see it happen. But you never know. With Tottenham going places, players may look at us and think, do you know what? They're going places. I might give it a go there. Give me Gomez. He is quality. He is, Carl. He really is. If we sign Gomez Premier League, it's not ready for him. No, there won't be. They will not be ready for him one iota. We've got Swim Master. There's a lot of streams of people are mentioning we're going to smash Chelsea 4-0. Being banded around. I hope it's true, but just have a feeling and we're closer. Look, I'm going for a 2-1. I don't think we're going to beat them 4-0. And I think people saying we're going to beat them 4-0 are not taking Chelsea seriously. Look, Chelsea's our bogey team. We have to be realistic about this. We've got a good result away at Arsenal. We beat Palace away. We beat Manchester United at home, a very poor Man United side, by the way. But we have been opened up at the back, and any teams would better finishes would have punished us, and we haven't been punished for the mistakes we've made. But on saying that, I think Chelsea's a good time to play Chelsea. I think they're disorganized. I don't think they're pulling in the right direction. I think we can't take them lightly, but we should go in there with confidence, but don't go in there overconfident of smashing them, because I don't think that will happen. Now, it could do. It could end up being a 4-0 Spurs win, or it could end up being a 1-0 win for Chelsea. We just have to go in there a little bit savvy about it, a little bit with our heads. Think with our heads before we start playing, because I think you can pick any score, you can pick a score at the top of your head, and you think that'd be great. We've got to be tactically so spot on with Chelsea, because they cannot break down teams that play a tight unit. If we go at them gung ho, then we're going to leave spaces in the back, and they will pick us off. We need to be united. So, look, I don't think it'd be 4-0. I think it'd be 2-1 myself. I agree with you, Swim Master. 2-1 for me would be my score. If we get through this run of games still top, I agree we'll be right in there. And that's the thing. I think we can. I think we've got the mentality. I think we've got the right mental attitude to get through these games. We fear no one. Even if we go 1-0 down, we keep playing the same way. We don't panic. And I think where we've had it under Conte, Mourinho, Nuno, even back to Pochettino, his end, I think we're playing with more freedom now. We're playing with the way that we want to play. We're playing the way that we should be playing. And I think that's the players are enjoying it as well. Matthew's saying, Dermot, and should stay with us for about 7. Yeah, he should do. Sign them up for life. Daniel Phil, big up Daniel, says, hiya. It says, I am not doing this score prediction. I think this is too close to do a score prediction, to be fair. You could pick a score out at the top of your head, out of the clouds, and just say, yeah, I'll go with that score. Do you know what? I'm still going for 2-1. That's me personally. Matthew says, when Son leaves Tottenham, could you see him being a bigger legend than Kane, Greavesy, and all if he wins the Premier League and UEFA Champions League? I think, look, it's different times, different eras. Jimmy Greaves is a Tottenham legend, always will be. He played in the greatest ever side of the early 60s. He didn't play in the double side, but he played in the side that retained the FA Cup in 62, won the Cup Winners' Cup in 63, and played in the side that won another FA Cup in 67. I think if Sonny even wins the Premier League or Champions League, I think Jimmy Greaves will still be ahead of him, because Jimmy Greaves is an absolute British football legend. He's up there. I think for this generation, Son will be a legend for this generation. I think for definitely sure. Harry Kane, I think, is a legend in his own right, but he's his legend on the same level as Jimmy Greaves, because he broke Jimmy Greaves' record. Though Jimmy Greaves has got the medals to show for his success at Tottenham, Harry Kane doesn't. But that wasn't no fault of him. That was fault of the managers, of the systems, of circumstance of playing that day. But I just think Sonny, I don't know. There's something about Sonny. You couldn't put him in the same bracket as Jimmy Greaves. I just wouldn't do that. He's a legend in this generation of Spurs players. I think every player needs to be in their own box, own generation of being a legend. But as an all-time Spurs legend, Jimmy Greaves spans the greatness of time. He really does, and he really was one of the all-time best. He really was. But Sonny, nah, I'm sorry. I think Sonny will never be as big as Jimmy Greaves. Never be as big. If Chelsea only play 2 good games this season, it is always against us. Yeah, that is so true, Andrew. It is so true. Luke Chapman, big up Luke. He says Cobbler's production, easily the worst performance of the season. Yep. Exactly. Absolutely exactly. Don't know how Northampton Town are doing, but if you say it was produced easily the worst performance of the season, look, I believe you 100%. Hey, would fancy a return of him, of Harry Kane? No, I think once he's gone, he's gone. I don't want him back. You don't go back. I don't want him back. You've had time with him. Big up Brian Maguire. He says Keane, Greaves, and Son, good front three. Jesus, what a front three. Can you imagine when Glenn Hoddle and Ozzy Ardiles in that midfield? And then you had Steve Perriman, Graham Roberts, Chris Houghton. Who else then? You had Danny Thomas, Tony Galvin. Who else could you have in the wing? Probably Gareth Bale, and then you would have. Oh, I don't know who would have in the midfield. Oh, that's what I have. But yeah, front three of Kane, Greaves, and Son. Yeah, all day long. Matthew says, "Nah, retiring at his home. That's what I meant for one." I think he may do. I think he may go back to South Korea for one season. I think he may well do that, or even the Saudi League. Could see him doing that. Carl says, I would like to think that when Kane's buyback clause comes into play, us as a club would be a completely different beast and don't need them. Yeah, I would. I think that's what I want as well. That's what I want as well. I've got a few people here disagree. We've got Ricky Villa centre midfield. Yeah, could put him in there. Chris Waddle. Now there's a player. Yeah, Waddle on. I agree with that, Andrew. Chris Waddle. Now, Mickey Hazard. Mickey Hazard is probably one of my favourite players of the 80s. I loved him as a player. Devastated when he left to go to Chelsea. Absolutely over the moon when he came back under Ozzy. But yeah, Mickey Hazard for me was the apparent. I think he would have, if he stayed at Spurs, I think he would have taken over Glenn Hoddle's mantle. I think he was that good. Mickey Hazard, he really was. But Ricky Villa as well. Yeah, him and Ozzy. Or have them on the bench actually and bring them on. That's what I do. Right. Let's see what else we've got. Gary. Now, Carl. Now, come on. Now, lay off the sherbet, all right? Lay off the drink. Look, it's only 4:30 and you're drinking already. Gary Doherty, the Ginger Pele. Serious to God. He wouldn't even get into my worst Tottenham 11. More like the best Tottenham 11. Anyway, let's carry on. Anyway, Everton, I'm hearing, is also open. I was told today that Everton have open talks with Tottenham as Sean Dyche aims to reignite Dele Alli's career. Now, it goes on to say, Sean Dyche has relayed that Everton have open talks with Tottenham as they hope to reach a compromise on Dele Alli's move to Goodison Park. The Toffees, as it stands, will have to fork out a substantial fee once certain conditions are met. Tottenham are due a payment of £10 million once Dele reaches 20 appearances. Now, he's only played 13 games for Everton. And I think with everything, I think, look, we all wish Dele Alli well. We all wish Dele Alli getting back to where he was under us. But look, I just hope Everton Tottenham can come to an agreement that suits them, and Sean Dyche then can see can he get Dele Alli back playing to where he was before. And the last bit of this bit of news here, Troy Parrott and Dean Scarlett are suffering from the same problem at the moment. They're just not being picked. Where at their league clubs, at especially at Ipswich and Rotterdam and Ipswich, respectively, neither Parrott nor Dean Scarlett have managed to start during the loan spells there. Now, Parrott has actually done a bit better. He has 3 goals in 7 games for the team in Holland, but he's only played 112 minutes for the Dutch side. Meanwhile, Scarlett has played 125 minutes, but he's yet to score in 7 game brief appearances for Ipswich. So, look, I think if they're not going to get games, I think you might pull them out there and bring them back to Tottenham. There's no point in having them loaned out if they're not getting minutes and not getting things. I think they're better off back at Tottenham, training with the first team, training, getting used to Ange's system. You send these players out to get minutes, and if they're not getting minutes, then it's a waste of time in them being there. But look, for me, Troy Parrott for me has wasted his talent, I think, in a way. He really was. He was supposed to be the next best thing in Ireland, take over from Robbie Keane. Now Evan Ferguson's now going to be that man, and I think we've missed. I think Troy Parrott. It's a shame because he had the talent to be a really great striker. He just didn't apply himself, I think, and it's a really shame. And Dean Scarlett, look, he's only young. We have to see what happens with him. And if they're not getting minutes, they need to come back and train with Ange, get used to Ange's system. We've got Carl Simpson, get them both back and loan them to other clubs. Carl, you could keep loaning them out, but if they're not getting the minutes there, what guarantees you they're going to get minutes at the next club to go to? I think we've either got to bring them back in, especially with Troy Parrott, bring them back in, let Ange have a good look at them, and then either sell them in January or release them in the summer. Or sell him in the summer. It's got to come up. I think he's coming up for a year left in his contract, I think, at Tottenham. So they've got to make a decision very shortly what they're going to do with Troy Parrott. And with Dean Scarlett, well, I think loan him back out. I think so, but not with Troy Parrott. I think Troy Parrott, they've got to really consider what they're going to do. We've got Matthew saying, Delhi man, if he had worked hard, he would have been one of the best of this generation. Look, it's the same thing with all these young players. They get too much money too soon. And they get to a point where they feel they don't have to put the work in because they've already made it. I think younger players now, once you make your first team appearance, then you play in the first team, you get picked for your national side or you go to a World Cup. You feel that you've made it as a professional. And if you look at like a Harry Kane, who every day prided himself in practicing his craft as a striker. Practice. Didn't go out, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, a family man. And you look at players like that can extend their careers by 3 or 4 further years into their 30s. Harry Kane will probably drop back to be a cam role in his later years. And you look at these younger players now that come in and they get paid too much money too quickly. They get all the hangers on. They get all the agents looking at them, saying, "Oh look, we can give you this deal or we can give you that deal. If you go on to that show, or if you do this, you get this amount of money." And then you get the hangers on, and then you go to the nightclubs, and you got people selling stories on them. And I think clubs have to be very careful how they treat the younger players. And it means not paying them a lot of money too soon. Make them work for it. Make them earn it. You could be 18 years old in the first team and getting paid 150, well, say 20, 30 grand a week. That for me is ridiculous at 18 getting 30 grand a week or 20 grand a week. That's money you and me would only dream about getting. And I think these clubs have to do something, because the likes of the Dele Alli is a waste. He wasted his career. Now, he may come back and get up to some sort of standard again, but he won't reach the heights he reached in his early career at Tottenham. And I think this is the shame, because he had the talent to be one of the best players in years in his position for England, for Tottenham, in Europe. And he could have been playing, he could have, look at Jude Bellingham, a young lad playing at his craft at Real Madrid. Dele Alli could have done that. And I think I think it was the people around him, and also he had his own problems as well with mental health and everything, which should not be overlooked. And I think clubs should also take this into account with players as well. Look after their mental welfare. I think it has to be done. But big up. I agree with Matthew. Sonny will break records before he retires. Yeah, probably will. Dermot, who is your all-time top assist? It has to be Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle all day long for me. We've got Carl. It's up to them to show they were. It's up to them to show they're worth a look at. As Divine, he's proven their point. He's proven the point they are not. Exactly, Carl. And that's the thing. Divine's doing wonders at Port Vale. Really is playing absolutely brilliant. Dean Scarlett. Look, a manager can only see a player for Saturday during training in the week. So if you're not putting 100% into training Monday before the manager picks the team, he's not going to pick you. So you've got to try. You've got to keep pushing in training. And maybe that's the problem, Carl. Maybe that is the problem. And we've got Matthew. Example, Messi and Ronaldo just keep being the top. After being 37, 38 respectively. Yeah, there's my example. Look at Messi. Look at Ronaldo. Still, well, they're not playing in top leagues. They're playing in the Saudi and the American league. But they're still playing at some sort of level at their age, which really is unheard of in this day and age. And also, working hard can still make you the best in the world, even if you're 33 or 36. That's what I've learned from then. Yeah, it doesn't matter what age you are, as long as you put enough routine and enough work hard at what you're doing. If even doing this YouTube channel, I've got to put the hours in to get these shows right. It's not a case of coming on 5 minutes before I go live and think, oh, that would do. I spend a good 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours at the computer every day putting together other shows, and you've got to work at it. You've got to work at it. And it's the same in football. You have to work, train hard, practice your craft. Harry Kane did, and look how good Harry Kane is. We've got Carl Simpson. Don't want to say it, but look at Thiago Silva. He is 40, still in the Premier League. And you've got to respect that. He's 6 years younger than me. And I'm a fat, dodgy back, dodgy heart, not really fit. If I was to play 90 minutes of football, I'd probably keel over after 3. But you look at him, and you're right, Carl. 40 himself, still in the Premier League and still a good player. Dyer is the best assister for the opposition. Yeah, he is. But if you want a player that will give away goals like anything, Eric Dyer's your man. Eric Dyer is your man. He really is. Yep, Derma, 6 hours on FIFA and 1 hour show prep. Yeah. I wish it was 6 hours on FIFA. I think it's the other way around, Carl. I think it's the other way around. And then we've got a message just coming in from Matthew. Kane is just a hard worker. Everyone writes him off, and then he worked, and the last 8 years he's the best striker. He is the best striker in the world, and he's doing it in the German league. But mind you, even there, they've been out of the League Cup. They're out of 2 cup competitions by Munich. So it's this Kane curse. I wonder if they following with him. But listen, guys, that's all we've got for Newsbeat today. As I said, we are back later at 10 to... let me see what time I am back on later. Give me 2 seconds. I will let you know something. Just checking something. Let's see now. Live. Yep. We'll be back on at 10 to 6 for the qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix as THFC THFC F1 Till We Die makes its debut. So everyone please get over there and hit the subscription button on our sister channel where I'll be over there. All things Formula One, all things motorsport over there. So we're there for the qualifying. We're doing sprint race tomorrow. Me and Philip, we are doing the shootout qualifying will be within the pre-match show tomorrow afternoon at 10 to 3. Then we've got the race on Sunday. I think Chris will join me for qualifying. I think Chris will also join me for the race. I know Colin is as well. And of course, tonight we've got a new show every Friday at 9 o'clock. It's the Friday night debate. And it's all about sort of finances in football. And it's rich man, poor man. Has football priced itself out? And it really shows with the TV rights coming up and season tickets, and has football now become more for the corporate sector than it is for the normal man in the street? So we've got myself, Philip, we've got Mia from Spurs Between the Lines, and Colin as well from the Full-Time Sports Network. But this has been a THFC Till I Die, and the Full-Time Sports Network's production of Newsbeat, your home of Tottenham, past, present, and exciting future. Go through a few comments. We've still got Carl at 9 p.m. Yeah, Carl, 9 p.m. tonight, sir. And also at 10 to 6 for the qualifying. Qualifying for the Grand Prix in Brazil, Ayrton Senna's hometown. We've got Andrew Gregory. Cheers, Dermot. No problem, Andrew. Twin Master. I remember singing Hoddle Lizard King of White Hart Lane up in the standing shelf. His long passes were magic. Always made me smile. The amount of time he'd put his hands on his hips, bent down, tired. Yeah, it was. We've got James, your paratrooper. Don Belly will be homeless by the time he turns 40. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Thanks for the show, Dermot. No problem, Matthew. We've got Carl Simpson. I love a debate. I will behave. No, be as naughty as you like. Be as naughty as you like. Andrew says, I would love to see Dermot and Philip doing the sprint race. So would I. But we are. We're going to commentate on the F1 sprint race tomorrow. But actually, I'm going to be qualifying on the qualifying this afternoon, which I'm nervous about. And then we've got Swim Master. I used to pay £1 and 10p to watch Spurs. Wow. Absolutely right. And what got me was the TV right. How much money they're paying now for the TV rights than they were back in the start of the Premier League. At the moment, Sky, and I think Sky and BT pay £10 million per game. So you divide that by 38 games, and then you divide that then by 22 teams. It's mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling. Well, listen, we are back at 10 to 6. So join me then over on THFC F1 Till We Die. It'll be broadcast live on this channel, on the main F1 channel as well, and also on the Full-Time Sports Network. And then, of course, we're back at 9 with the Friday night, the start of episode 1 of our newest podcast, the Friday Night Debate with me and Philip, Mia, and Colin. So join us then. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. We're back later with Formula One, and we're back later with the debate. So come on, you Spurs, in Big Ange, we trust.